Good morning. Thank you for joining me for another 5 good minutes with the Word. I'm Barry Bryson, and we are continuing our study of the suffering servant passage in Isaiah. And we're coming to the heart of this passage, at least the part of it that we know the best, which is Isaiah 53. But of course, as we begin in Isaiah 52 today, we're going to be reading a passage that we know really well because Paul focuses on it. He highlights it in Romans chapter 10. We're in Isaiah 52. We're going to be looking at verses 7 through 10. God is restoring Jerusalem to its glory. And Jerusalem means more than just the city of Jerusalem. I think we're going to see in in the coming verses that he means spiritual Jerusalem. We've seen in these past sessions that he can't just be speaking about the nation, not Judah as a nation, the Jews as a cultural or political entity. He has to be talking about his covenant people, which after the cross means Christians. And there's no other way to interpret these prophecies because history does not bear them out otherwise. If all we're talking about are the Jewish people as an ethnic or political entity. Um, Another thing about this passage that we're going to be looking at, we've left the prose of verses 3 through 6 for the poetry, beginning with verse 7, is that they are preliminary to what we know well in 53. So he's calling his people home, and so we get to rejoice. And we're going to spend some time rejoicing, but then we immediately learn what that joy has cost in Isaiah 53. And it is a jarring juxtaposition that all translators feel like they have to deal with, but I think there's no reason to have to deal with it. It is a spiritual, a literary, and artistic choice to put these two things together because they are together. This is what our joy cost. Our rejoicing comes at the cost of the sacrifice of the Messiah. And how better to highlight that than to interrupt almost our rejoicing by reminding us of the cross itself. So we're going to look today at 7 through 10. So let's read those verses. How lovely on the mountains are the feet of him who brings good news. And of course, that's gospel. Gospel means good news. Who announces peace and who brings good news of happiness, who announces salvation, and who says to Zion, your God reigns. Listen, your watchmen lift up their voices. They shout joyfully together, for they see with their own eyes when the Lord restores Zion. Break forth, shout joyfully together, you waste places of Jerusalem. For Yahweh, the Lord, has comforted his people and has redeemed Israel. The Lord has bared his holy arm in the sight of all the nations, that all the ends of the earth may see the salvation of our God. There are foreshadowings here in the middle of this joy, that there will be cost for the joy. Anyway, it's just such a beautiful expression. How lovely on the mountains are the feet of him who brings good news. We don't often think of people's feet as beautiful, especially not men who are messengers who have to traverse great distances, but they are, because they are the bringers of good news and announce happiness and salvation. We're talking about salvation. Happiness is salvation. It's not military victory. It's not monetary prosperity. It is salvation. And then he mentions in verse 8, listen to your eyewitnesses. Your watchmen are eyewitnesses. And I think of the writers of the gospel. I think of what Peter says in 2 Peter. We didn't make this stuff up. We were eyewitnesses to it. And what John says in 1 John chapter 1, we saw with our own eyes, we touched him with our own hands, we heard with our own ears, and we're sharing this with you as eyewitnesses. And he talks about the watchmen lifting up their voices, the people that are bringing the message being eyewitnesses. God has brought comfort. This connects us with the very first verses of the suffering servant passage, comfort ye my people. He has verse 9, redeemed. Redeemed. We think of the word redemption as meaning saving, and we use it interchangeably. But we also know that there is an economic meaning to the word, to redeem. And it means to pay the price. To redeem something, you pay the price for it. And there will be a price paid. God will bear his mighty arm by making payment for us. And this is the foreshadowing I'm talking about, that word redemption. There is going to be a price paid. And in just a few verses, we're going to be told what that price is going to be. But God bearing his arm is not sending an army of angels or even a single angel, which can take out an entire army, as the angel did whenever the Assyrian army threatened the city of Jerusalem. That event happened in the lifetime of the original readers of this text. God will bear his arm by paying the price, and the price will be paid with the life, the suffering of the Messiah. Okay, we'll look at verses 11 and 12 next time. Thank you so much for joining me for another 5 good minutes with the Word.